At one of the stripper parties, 2 girls had visors that were like Versace visors. Welcome to Thick Boy Fight Club. I'm your Balkan boy,
Tyson the Beast.
and with us today is BTC Fights matchmaker extraordinaire, Rob Vevers.
What's up, boys?
Yeah, before we get started, shout out to our sponsors, Kangen Water, Top Mud Studios, Bearded Bites, Major Pack, Tyson Takeover,
Just for Kicks, Kimura Wear, Kangen Water,
Gas Tank.
Gas Tank. Huge shout out to the guys
Yeah.
at Gas Tank sponsoring our fight nights.
Getting up there with the
Top Mud
sponsors.
Studios, if you didn't say it already.
Yeah.
Found's
Sports
looking at me,
bars.
just want to make sure.
All right. Now we got that out of the way. Restaurant shout out of the week. For me, it's where I went and got us food today. Rasta Pasta in Kensington Market. You guys know like that area has some of the best food. Rasta Pasta, it's like a fusion of Italian and Jamaican food. They make like pasta with Jamaican toppings on top. I got the jerk chicken paninis today. It's usually what I get. Fire spot, very interesting restaurant.
For me, I'm coming back to Etobicoke now, a place called Mama Rosa. So now I'm going a little further off at Lakeshore. This is a place off Dundas in Etobicoke, the best food in the city. A little Italian spot. They have cool like paninis, little spaghetti plates, veal sandwiches. Really good. Like I'm pretty sure it's a family thing from the vibe I get when I go in there. Right there in Dundas, off Dundas in Etobicoke, Mama Rosa.
I'm going to go with 50 Pesos Tacos in Burlington on Harvester. They sponsor BTC Fight all the time.
Nice.
And just 2 dudes that they went on the Food Truck Diaries, I think. They won that back in the day, yeah. And then it's just evolved. And those dudes are Chris and Chris, and they've got a good spot. You guys ever been there?
No. What kind of tacos do you get from there?
They've got all kinds: fish tacos, chicken, all sorts of shit.
Taco.
Yeah, it's dope. They're
yeah.
dope. They've got a dope chicken.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'd have to check it out. It's really
Nice.
good. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't know what I'm ordering there. I just like point. And
Like,
they
let's
give me
go.
some shit, and it's good. Yeah.
50 pesos, I like that name.
Well, I'm excited to have Rob on the show today, not only because he is pioneering one of the only MMA shows happening in Canada this year.
Fingers crossed,
You
yeah.
know,
Amen. Let's hope it happens.
BTC Fights happening June 5th in Vancouver, BC. A local Ontario show, but with the state of things he's having to take the show over to BC. And
Packing up the U-Haul, baby.
yeah.
Yep.
And there's few people I admire and respect in MMA as much as Rob, because he's extremely passionate about the sport and one of the easiest people to work with. It's hard to work with fine promoters that aren't sleazeballs, as Tyson knows. So working with Rob and BTC is a breath of fresh air.
Well, thank you, my brother. Appreciate that.
Amen.
So why don't you just tell us, like, real quick, how did you end up as the BTC matchmaker?
Adam Asenza had told me about the first one when they were doing it. He was pretty pumped about it. There hadn't been shows in Ontario in a long time. So he was telling me about it, and just in the gym, I just said, well, if you, who's matching it? His coach was matching it. I said, well, if he needs some help, be more than happy to help out. And he's like, yeah, cool. Okay. I'll talk to him. Which, if you know Adam Asenza, he's going to talk to him. But he doesn't talk to him.
Shout out to Maverick.
Love Mav. So anyways, I went home and I just started fucking around. Names, and I shot it over. I said, send us to Maz's coach. So I think these fights make sense for tickets, da-da-da-da-da. And he was like, well, okay, this is good. And Maz was like, yo, come in, let's chop it up, talk about it. And fucking from then on, that was it. It was
awesome.
Done. Maz was already like on record to match that card. But then because he can't match the card, and then also Coach Adam and yada yada, so it was me behind the scenes on the first one, and then from 2 forward, it was me on record. It was
You're very like integral face at BTC.
at the right of the beginning. I don't know about face. I
like,
mean, a lot of the
like,
people they reach out to me to ask questions or to be on and this and that, but there's. Like, we're a 3-headed monster, I want to say. I think confidently I can say that we're a 3-headed monster. Sherry Carruthers doesn't get near the daps she should get with all the hard work she does behind the scenes, for sure. And Patrick Duffy, there's no chance that guy gets the daps he should get. He's in charge of this. Right.
You are kind of like, as a guy from an outsider who came up here, you are the person in the name I always would hear, the face, and
because you're the first contact for fighters.
Yeah. Who do I
it's such
talk
an
to? I want to
important
fight on
job.
the thing. Who do I talk to? And I get it, right?
Yeah, it's an important job, man.
When fighters ask, how do I get on the BTC card? It's, talk to Rob.
Yeah.
That's I've heard that all. Yeah,
It's been a ride for sure, man. It's been a lot of fun, and this shifting gears to like this last year sucked. Like you guys obviously know.
You did the last show February 20th in Kitchener.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, which was fucking sick. Like you guys were there or saw it. It was Fallon was there. Like it was a sick show. Like,
things were looking so good for Ontario.
Like the momentum. First year we banged out like 4. We were gonna do 4 shows, which we'd only been doing 2 the years prior.
Well, if things were like, my plan was to hopefully fight for James Clark in August in Brampton.
Yeah.
I think that's what you guys were looking at. Bringing the show to Brampton.
Well, we had to get you in there once before that.
Yeah.
Still have to get you in there once before that.
You guys are seeing the negotiations live, guys. I love what you know. It's clever the way you slip.
I've already weaseled myself into a #1 contender fight.
Yeah.
So
that's why he's a good matchmaker. He picks that up quick.
Well, that's the thing too. Like that's the evolution of this thing. We've been able to go, okay, we know now in January, we know we're going to do 4 shows. Perfect. So we can set it up to, okay, Boyan can fight in June, and then maybe we flip it right around in August for the title shot, or maybe the title shot's in the fall, whatever. Yeah. But at least we start to build some momentum towards the title fights and stuff like that, and just build them up. Like this fight in Vancouver, it's I think 9
stacked, man.
Maybe 10 fight like the debut
so
guys though.
We know,
and here's the thing:
for shout out to Luke Roberts and all those guys.
Regional MMA fans, they might not know who these guys are. They're not gonna know. A lot of these guys are amateurs, coming from some different disciplines. O&O guys, but we like that train at these gyms. We train with these guys. We know there's some killers that are gonna be on this card. This card is stacked with the new talent. So it's exciting. It's definitely a new time for Canadian MMA.
For sure, and I think it's great too that at the debut level, we're able to get the East versus the West in a lot of these matchups, right? So and that's sometimes
what an experience for these guys.
Hell yeah!
To be able to these Ontario guys for their first or second fight go over to BC and
it's
fight
such a big difference
in an Ontario card still. So there's like a neutrality still. It's not really like you're going into enemy territory.
Yeah, definitely going into enemy territory, but it's also like peaceful territory at the same time, right?
Yeah, because it's BTC.
I'm pumped, man. I'm excited for it. This year, I'm excited for this year, even though it still looks shitty and the future looks grim as far as the whole
Ontario's like nothing's happening.
It's tough. I'm not so bullish that we're writing a year off.
Yeah,
I think we're doing we got plans for Ontario sooner than later, but again, who knows?
Your hometown Burlington, you guys would always do such a killer show there in June. Right?
Yeah, and that's not going to happen. And that's unfortunate. 2 years in a row, we can't do that card in Burlington is like our WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We try to make that the big one. We did the first, number 3.
Because you can make enough revenue on that card to invest in the other shows that you don't know how they're going to.
Yeah, when you go to Peterborough, Kitchener.
I don't know.
I would assume,
bro.
right? Yeah.
It's tough to really, it's tough to do really well in these things. Like Irene, who nobody talks about Irene enough. Irene's the backbone of this thing, whether we like to admit it or not. Like without Irene, this is not happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Sherry's great with what she does, but we can't do any of this stuff without Irene. And if she pulls the pin on it, if we have a tough event, it's gonna be tough. We're building a brand and we're building momentum so that
you guys
shows are better. It's an investment. It's 100% an investment.
Is this your first show outside of Ontario now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean, I always like to look at bad things can turn to good things. Do you maybe look at this as a way to say, okay, maybe we wouldn't have ventured outside Ontario right away, but now we're gonna learn some things, learn the ropes. Like
now you're becoming a national show.
Yeah, because Canada doesn't have enough shows, and like you guys seem to run good shows. This could be an opportunity to go to Calgary, Montreal, all these places.
Yeah, and that's definitely stuff. Like if we can make this work, now we're fortunate that we're with we're sort of piggybacking with BFL. They're doing their show the night before, but we're using the same venue. Their cage and set up, their production.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are actually you guys were working in coordination with them.
Basically.
Okay, because I didn't know if we should bring it up because I remember when this initially started, we were like, is this like they're like trying to put a flag on?
And that's
because it's like that's almost competing in a way.
There is enough demand and supply for.
Well, exactly right, but we didn't know what the plan.
PFL couldn't get all those guys on the card. There's no way.
I never thought
people want to fight.
For sure, and I never thought this would actually even happen. But Jay and I have been talking about this for a year.
Jay from BFL.
BFL, yeah. Dude,
Oh.
told me this for a year.
Because we
just
really
like
didn't
bullshitting,
know.
just bullshitting.
We knew you guys had got people from BTC who had fought with BFL, and we were
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, is this like their way of saying, hey, we're gonna come to Vancouver and put a flag? So you're
Yeah,
saying you
man.
guys they're actually helping you guys with the show?
Yeah, he's helping
I love
tons.
that,
Helping tons. He's
I
helping us a
love
lot.
that.
There's
I
a
love
couple
hearing
guys
that.
that are like under contract with BFL that he's
Well, it's like, what are
gifted
they
us.
competing for when there's no audience? It's not like they're stealing
Well, you
ticket
know what you're
sales and
seeing
shit.
There's
is
no
who
ticket
has
sales.
who has passion for the sport.
Yeah.
Who's willing to put their ego and say, I love this sport. I love young fighters.
Yeah,
it
and
seems
since,
like you
we're
guys,
shouting
that's-
out the people making the sport happen, you know, like Maz from MFL was
Yeah, man.
literally willing to do a show in Cancun,
and
Mexico,
lose money just
and
for
lose
the
money
love of it.
just for the love of it, getting Canadian guys from TriStar and Ontario guys fights. You know, you were supposed to fight on that card.
Yeah, I was going to this card too. But this pandemic is exposing who actually loves this sport, whether as a fighter, coach, or as a promotion.
Well,
a lot of people, now that it's gotten rough, have kind of...
Well, and I don't think that takes away from the passion of it. It's just like you either get beaten down and just start waving that white flag,
Yeah.
or just tough to come on the other side of it financially. I think the passion's still there for a lot of people that we maybe won't see as much again. I don't think the passion is sport's too fucked up for it. Like the passion is so thick and so deep that it just wouldn't. There's no chance that COVID's going to wipe out the passion from people. It might wipe out some other stuff that prevents them from moving on.
Some
with
opportunities and platforms, but
yeah, like,
you
I
know,
mean, the guys that can't train in the gym, like it's even for me personally. Like I can't wait to get back and start doing jiu-jitsu again. But like I bought a bike, one of those Norditrack bikes,
I did
because
so
it's
much biking last
barely
year.
for me to like climb the stairs right now. Like never mind get on the mats. So some guys just may not even get back into training. Go, fuck it, I'm too old. It's passed me by, or
We
I
have
don't
Canadian
care.
Olympians who aren't even bothering because they can't train. Like the kid,
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
was
it's-
it John Paul from
it is.
Combat? He's a
And-
boxer. He's just gonna go pro because he's like, I can't train with the
your
guys in the States
your
are training
athletic
the whole
window
time.
is so small for you to lose. Like, you know, we're going on the second year. For you to
man.
go 3-4
an
years without
amateur?
competing in the prime, or guys like us who are coming near the end of like, you
Yeah,
know what I
man.
mean? Like
That's the thing. Some guys that are getting long in the tooth may want that last send-off fight. Well, you know,
I
they
want to
won't be able
last. I
to.
want to last few runs at it, and
Yeah.
it's you know, especially now at 32. You know, like how long can you fight for? And if there's no fights for
32?
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Oh, you got a long time left.
Bro,
Got a long time
Robert
left,
Teixeira's
bro.
What, fighting for a title soon? 42.
Yeah,
You know,
32 is
and I
nothing.
love this stuff so bad. I was supposed to fight in Africa, in Togo. I got myself a fight, but with these travel restrictions, you know, everything's.
That
You
was a
never know if
crazy
it's
move,
gonna
though.
fall apart or not.
This
you
is the
know?
one
Well,
guy
that's
like,
the
let's
thing.
go to Togo. Like all these places, like let's try North America first, maybe Europe. Let's go to Africa, like random country.
You know me. You know.
I know that's why it's funny.
But yeah, you're right. But we're even still for us, we're gonna be white knuckling our way through to, like I said in the lobby. Like June 5th is a long way away still, and there's a lot of stuff that could happen between now and then that could
Guys
go
are gonna
one
be able
way.
to travel, right? There's not gonna be issues with that. So
Though I'm not worried about the travel stuff at all. Like no, that's I'm not worried about. But they may, like the government out in BC might say the event's
All
not
rights,
happening,
exactly.
and it's like the setup that we have to do to make this thing happen is like there's a secondary site where everyone is going to be, and then on a timeline. Okay, it's 6:15. Tyson, you're going to the venue. 6:30, you now go.
So I'm not even gonna be. I wouldn't even. Let's say if we were both fighting on
Nope.
the card, I wouldn't be even. At
Unless
the
you were in
venue
his
at the
corner.
Same time.
Nope.
I wouldn't. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you can't even. Well, the UFC's doing the same thing. They can't even stay to watch the fights. Even,
No, you're
even where
out,
they had
gone.
the crowd in Houston. They were, sorry, in Florida.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
They didn't allow the fighters to stay. They
That makes
bust them
perfect
right
sense,
back to
actually.
the hotel.
Because you're only allowed so many people in the venue, right?
So you
like,
don't want to waste it just with people warming up when they can.
can't.
warm
Well,
up
you
somewhere else.
just you're not allowed. Just simple
So where
as
would
that.
the fighters warm up then? Are they gonna
They
get to warm
can
up
they
at-
can come in like I can't
warm
remember
up
what
at
the
both
number
places,
is.
I guess, right?
You could, but you come to the venue, cup on. You come in with your mouthpiece, like we give you one bottle of water, and then the corner's masked up, and then you get your time to warm up.
How long is the time roughly?
I can't remember. I'd have to check. We had a meeting of it
that's
last week.
crazy.
I should know because we had a meeting of it last week with everybody. It's probably. I mean, it's sufficient time. Like nobody from the last BFL card complained about any of that stuff that I'm
Sure,
aware
guys are
of.
just happy to fight, man. Like at that
Yeah,
stage,
yeah.
this year, it's like you're just happy to be,
Sure.
you know, what I mean, competing. So like I remember, because you know, obviously people remember the old school like matchmaker Joe Silva from UFC, Sean Shelby, like
The
I remember-
Don.
Yeah, right. Like so you always hear these stories about like how he had like a formula that you know you over time you realize okay maybe this is a bad way to match. Do you have a set formula that you kind of look at for fights? Do you base off of each individual fighter, whether they're trying to promote you, or do you kind of look at it, okay, we want a fight that's exciting, we're going to match the, like, do you have any type of formula you use, or is it kind of
it's
fight by fight?
Still a learning process for me, just as what works.
Yeah.
And fortunately, through these nine events, I think I can safely say that we've only really had one shitty fight, all 9 cards.
Wow.
Which fight would that be?
I'm not telling you.
Oh,
I'm not telling
I was
you.
gonna say I was hoping.
No.
Because we clearly know who it is. Based
Yeah,
off of that.
I don't know. Maybe we're not. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
But it was at the first show, I think. I want to say.
Oh wow.
But anyway, so I've been really fortunate that the fights that we've put together have been really great. It's a style thing for sure. If if I know that there's 2 guys that are really good kickboxers, all right, let's go. If there's a high level kickboxing, high level wrestling, let's go. Let's see. A lot of it just happens to be right time, right place.
Yeah, who's available?
Who's available.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I know, like, if they're 2 wrestlers, just a generalized wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like that's gonna be a boring one. I probably try to keep them both on the card, but pair them both up with somebody else.
So if you ever, because I've noticed a lot of times, and we've talked about this, sometimes you end up with the 2 wrestlers where they both go in there ready to strike because nobody can take each other down. You're like, all right, well, we're just gonna fisticuffs. But then you also have the time where it's like,
but you're also developing guys too, right? Because there's guys that train at the BTC gym, so there's also this like element of like of building certain guys up to get them to the next stage, right?
Yes,
and getting them the appropriate fights, right?
Yeah, but there's a fine line there. Like, the commission is fantastic in Ontario.
It's very competitive here.
Right, but they don't fuck around. Like, if they can smell a shitty matchup a mile away, and they're like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, I have free ranges when I'm the matchmaker for amateur shows, and I've invited Rob to even scout guys, and I think he's got Dorian fighting on his show. Dorian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That guy sells tickets. Too bad. You know?
Yo, I was gonna message him today and just be like, bro, stop. You need to stop. My phone was going nuts. Ding, ding, ding. Like 86 times. This guy commenting on other people, like comments and shit. Guy, knock it off.
I love it.
I try to get some shit done here.
All the time.
Fucking stop, man.
Oh,
but I didn't. I said, no, I can't, because he's doing what he's got to do.
Yeah, he's promoting.
Do your thing, bro, but fucking stop.
Give you a break. Well, because me and you talk about sometimes the bad match is actually like a wrestler versus a jiu-jitsu guy who's comfortable staying down there. A lot of times wrestlers don't want to stay on the back.
Yeah.
You get this crazy scramble.
Tyson took offense to that because he's like,
well,
no,
that's why I pointed out.
That's why I pointed out.
Because I was bringing up the Gregor Gillespie fight, how that was such a crazy fight.
A crazy fight.
It was just nonsense.
Did you see that fight?
No.
Oh, yeah, you got to watch it this past weekend where neither one wanted to be on the ground. It was like they refused to pull guard. It was just like...
It was the craziest. It's like when grappling
is
exciting.
Nuts.
Grappling is really exciting.
Pure
but that happens a lot, too. Like, there's a lot of those that are...
just scramble fest, you know, like...
Yeah, because I think the first round, from what I read, anyways, it wasn't exactly in Gregor's favor.
No.
But then second round, he went like fucking ham, and...
I thought he was gonna just pass out from how much he was pushing the pace, because he was just going for takedown after takedown. I was like, man.
And Ferreira refused to pull guard.
Until he just broke.
And they broke. Yeah, he literally just broke from just trying to.
Like, I can't defend any more takedowns.
Yeah, because like, so like on this card specifically, how many fights did you say you had? You have 9?
No, we have 9 9 fights featuring debut guys.
Oh wow!
So right
how
now,
many fights do you have on the card?
I have 11 booked right now, and I've got I'm working on 2 more. One's going to be a big one.
Because you're going to have a big main event, I assume, right?
Do you can you tell us anything about the main event, or are you kind of working on that a little bit?
Is there any announcements you can make on the Thick Boy podcast today?
Come on, breaking news for us.
Come on, break some news for us.
Exclusive. Won't be, and this won't be coming out till next week anyway.
Yeah,
so it won't be.
Yeah.
We're not dropping this today by any means.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm trying to think of what hasn't been announced yet. Like that Jake McDonald fight, Jake McDonald and Xavier. That's gonna be it.
That Jake McDonald guy looks like he hasn't fought in a minute though.
He's been on, but he's been working. He's been working. Yeah, okay. He fought. I remember watching him fight Hakeem Dawodu. Yeah, man. Yeah, and that same fight. I think that was the same card that Josh Hill fought Mike Adams in Edmonton, like way back in the WSOF days. It was. Josh's first fight back from the Ultimate Fighter thing, where he's just a wrestler and boring, right?
Dana
and he fucking iced this guy, man.
No, he got a disgusting knockout.
Yo,
Dana White. Like he starched
iced him.
Yeah.
It was.
Starts this guy.
But
Like,
like,
he had a tough fight his last fight. You
Probably
heard
a
he,
good thing, though,
you heard he
man.
broke his arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing when you have that type of thing happen to you. It kind of probably changed his perspective because
Sure, but also
On a
at the
pub-
same time, I was like, "Fuck you, man! Like I'm winning
Yeah,
these
like-
fights. How it doesn't matter how."
yeah, and then to find out that later on Dana loves wrestlers because Khabib's his favorite person in the world and he's willing to like bend over backwards. But it's like it's at that stage he didn't respect it the same way.
But
now,
I think even if Josh was like money, right? He fights it that way, and then but Khabib's got Russia and that following.
Yeah, man.
So
Sure.
it's easy to love Khabib when there's millions of dollars coming in. I'm not to say Josh couldn't get there, but he looked at Josh and was like, I'm not making money.
I'll say Josh is more. I don't think Khabib even had that till he fought Conor. I think people forget that before Conor, he was 26-0 and nobody gave a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've asked people about, like you're in the fight game. Do you remember who he got the belt from initially? Don't say anything.
Who, what?
Who Khabib got the belt from initially?
Who did he
Yeah,
win
wasn't it
from?
Poirier?
No,
Interim belt?
Nobody remembers.
Nobody even
Nobody
knows how he
cared.
won the title.
I'll Quinta. No, but and it was a good fight. It went 5
For the
rounds.
belt?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how he won the title.
Nobody remembers because
but
nobody cared.
Iaquinta came in off the bench like last
Exactly.
minute though. I remember
Exactly,
that. But
right?
That's for the belt.
And it was a good
Who
fight.
was he supposed to fight?
Nobody
originally?
cared. It was
Max
Tony
Holloway.
Ferguson.
No, Max Holloway.
Oh, Tony
No,
Ferguson.
it was a Ferguson fight.
Yeah.
Ferguson fought again.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I remember Max went up to fight Poirier and lost.
Mm.
So this,
No,
you know,
Holloway was also supposed to fight Khabib. Yeah, he was.
At
He got.
55?
Yeah, he just pulled out because he remember when they were worried about his.
oh yeah, that was So even that,
Hmm.
it's like the Russia thing didn't help him. It was the Conor thing. Like if we're being honest, that's another example of Conor blessing another guy. Nobody cared about Khabib. I remember being a fan of Khabib.
Yeah, but
27-0, nobody cared.
It took like the dolly through the bus. It took
Exactly.
Khabib diving off the top of the cage
Exactly.
like fucking
It took, but
Jimmy
took
Snuka.
viral
what other
moments.
fighter is going to give you that? What other person other than Conor would have gotten him that angry? What other person has the money to fly a private jet from Ireland?
He's
to
just
Brooklyn?
he's just so quick though. Like the Jeremy Stevens thing today.
I know. Oh yeah.
Dead.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Dead.
Dead. Yeah. Yeah.
So even today, I've heard it. I've seen it a million times. And the only other guy that's like that, in my opinion, is Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
Like,
Chael's quick like
king.
that.
If you get like, there's a YouTube thing that's an hour long of him just tearing somebody to shreds.
Chael or
And it-
Conor.
Chael.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
hilarious.
I love his
And
little
it's
podcast that he does
usually it's like Anderson, like the rat piss. When Anderson Silva walks into a room, you can hear a rat piss on cotton. Yo.
What?
now.
Dead.
Oh, imagine
That's-
if Chael had a devastating left hand like Conor, he would have been a beyond superstar.
Yeah, if Anderson Silva walks into a room, you can hear a rat piss on cotton.
That. But to the point, Chael was known as a wrestler.
That's ruthless.
Look at Colby Covington, and because he has a big mouth, I remember being a Khabib fan and nobody cared till Conor. Nobody cared, man. I remember the Quinta fight. I remember when he beat up Gleison Tebow. I mean, the guy was undefeated the entire time, and never once did he get $1 million payday till Conor. So like a guy like Josh, you never know who he ends up fighting that can make him a star. So. But I think Dana White's learned his lesson about shitting on young prospects. I think he's kind of maybe
He's gonna
he'll
shit-
shit on older prospects to
shit
stop
on
them
them
getting
all.
paid.
Speaking
bro.
of prospects, like the mission statement for BTC, what would you say it is? Is it to get guys to the UFC, to get guys to the bigger shows?
I think that's probably a secondary
Secondary,
thing.
yeah.
Right now, I feel like, in my opinion, the goal is just to provide a platform to the regional fighters, regardless of their goal.
Ontario needs it, man.
You know, if you want to go to the UFC, hopefully we can help you get there. If you just want to fucking fight,
How many UFC alumni do you have now?
I think
sure you
there's
guys
been
keep
like
track
6
of
or
that,
7.
right?
Somebody
Yeah.
does. I don't keep
That's
track of this
impressive.
stuff. But
Comes from
impressive.
Ontario, having
Kyle
to do
Nelson, Prepelec,
That Mexican girl, Lupita, she just got signed.
the fucking 115-pound champions just win and go. It
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
because Cheyenne
They need him.
Bays.
They need
China,
him. They
yeah.
need him.
There's 4.
Did Laramie ever fight on his card?
No,
No.
he was supposed to fight in Windsor, but that
Okay, that's what I was
didn't
thinking
happen.
about. I
Yeah,
remember
no,
that,
he never made it on.
Jesse Ronson.
Jesse Ronson, big ups to your Jesse Ronson.
Yeah.
But so that's 5
That we could think of. I
That's
don't know.
think
There's
I'm
more.
impressive
quick.
to have
in
this many,
such a short time.
and
such a
especially
short
coming out of Ontario. That's where I know
BTC's
I've
been
heard
around
the
for what?
stories.
3 years?
So 2017 is when we
That's
started.
impressive, bro. It's
Two
really only
shows.
2 years ago. I'm not counting last
And,
year against you guys.
and the years don't even count. It's the amount of shows. We did 2 shows in 17, 2 shows in 18,
19, you crushed it.
and we fucking started going.
That's impressive, brother.
And
That's
when you
man.
guys did it in the show Niagara Falls, it was crazy. You know, that was a really good
Yo,
show.
and that was
the only
the
group that was right.
Niagara Falls. Like the mayor showed up. He's there shaking hands, calling us the week
That's
after,
awesome,
going,
bro.
so when do you
There's
guys
a
want to
mega
come
top
back?
Team expose too. Like,
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Shout
gonna be the
out to
gym that's gonna
Prickett.
get.
Yo, it
you
was-
guys a
it was
lot of
great,
UFC
man.
I fully believe that. Shout out to Prickett and all those guys over there.
Yeah,
That'll be-
they're working hard,
Yeah,
and
man,
they
you gotta give it to Prickett what he's doing,
He's
man. Like
doing-
that's gonna be the place
does
that's gonna
he
get you guys all
does he
love.
ever like lose at stuff? Like he's doing phenomenal
obsessed.
stuff at Brock, right? He's doing
obsessive.
amazing at Brock.
We're trying
and
to
he's
talk
a nice
to get on
guy,
your
too.
pod, bro. Listen, I'm working for you, brother. I'm trying to get. I want to just see him fight once.
Fight?
I
Oh.
I
am
was trying to get
working.
him an amateur.
You
fight.
wanna
Listen,
talk
bro,
about
I'm,
old men.
I'm working for free for you guys to get this guy to take a fight, bro. I want to see him maul somebody
Same.
at least once.
Same. But
so-
at least we got Luke.
So let people know you're where can people contact you about fights? Where can people learn more about BTC?
I'm gonna
about
double
this
dip my
show?
advertising
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
here,
good.
bro.
Yeah,
Do
go.
it
This
all,
is your-
man.
this is your
This
plug
is
here.
your moment right
So
here.
Instagram,
Let us know where to
everything.
find you and BTC, all that.
So follow on Instagram, BTC Fight, Robert J. Vevers 2 on Instagram. That's the more fight stuff. Robert Vevers Realty or Real Estate if you want to buy or sell a house.
That's right.
Oh yeah, the headshot.
You know,
I saw
you
that.
know.
This guy's looking like a model. Okay, that makes sense now. I see why the headshot look like
But
that.
BTCfight.ca/live. It's up now for the pre-order, and you can support whoever, like your favorite athlete. They'll get compensated as well as you'll get a $10 discount. Price will go $35, I think. Fight day, weigh-in day, something like that. But we're just scratching the surface here, boys. I'm coming back before June 5th to do part 2.
Yeah.
Do a full rundown of the card and all that. We didn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah, we're definitely going to. So guys, definitely support all these local shows. Same way we're doing this for restaurants. You know, now shows are kind of opening up. That's why we started Thick Boy
Listen,
Fight Club.
if you love MMA, you need to buy that.
Yeah,
internet
support your
pay-per-view.
local restaurants.
Give
but
me a
now
good
we're gonna
card,
start
man.
doing-
It's
we're
like-
support these shows because this is why we started doing this, because we love MMA, we love food. Now that MMA is finally coming back, guys, support these guys, support these shows.
Because we got to dive into the matchups like that.
Oh,
There's
we're definitely coming back. We're definitely gonna
Izu
come
Dean
back right before.
Atma and Jake Gavro from Ottawa, 2 19-year-old kids, man.
Two 19-year-olds.
2 19-year-olds.
Making their pro debut.
Oh, they've been training by you since for 10 years.
Izu
knowing this is
Dean's
what they
from
wanna do.
Jake Peacock's gym in Calgary. He's got 50 Muay Thai fights, lost 2. Jake's had 50 grappling matches. He's lost 2.
Love that.
That's a matchup.
Love
Yo,
seeing
yo,
the young.
this-
This is what it's about. These young guys who knew
It's
from
gonna
the
be
jump.
that
this is what
one
they
right
wanted to
there.
do.
Is like
yeah.
right now. That's
So
one of
many
my
fights,
favorite
man.
ones.
Kevin
Oh, they probably
Popowik
grew up
is
knowing they
on
wanted to be
there.
MMA fighters.
No, he's the night before.
He's night before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But this, I mean, I gotta fly because I got a house to sell. But we gotta come back. I gotta come back and do it again.
I'm gonna have it back on here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you guys,
check
man.
out Rob. Like I said, we're gonna do a part 2 before June 5th. Give you guys a full rundown. We want that announcement.
We'll have that main
here about
event.
yeah, we want to hear
Maybe
that announcement.
maybe I'll sit on it.
Yeah,
I'll sit on it until then.
Let me know. See you guys on the next one. Like I said, support your local restaurants, your local fighters, gyms, and promotions.
Support
See you on the
BTC
next one.
fights.